Hello and welcome to Muse for You. This is John, your Adobe Muse instructor, and in today's video we're going to be creating a menu in Adobe Muse. So I've created this website here to show you how to create menus. We have 5 different pages, and so we have 5 different menu items. We have the home, about, services, FAQ, and contact. If you hover over each of these, it's a different color, and if you click, it changes the color as well. And if you click on the menu item, it brings you to a different page on the website. Okay, so that's it for the menu and things like that. So I'll go ahead and get started. Just kind of minimize that. I've already created the background and the logo text I've added in here. So now all we need to do is create the menu. So to create a menu, you go to Object, Insert Widget, then go to Menu, then Horizontal. And now we have this cursor with the menu item on it, and we can put this menu anywhere. I like to put this menu button kind of right up here in between these 2 guidelines that Muse kind of starts you off with, and I'll place it kind of in the middle of my 960 width website. So I place it up there, and what's great, you can resize the menu button. You can make it huge or you can make it smaller. You just kind of click and drag the bottom left and the right, drag it from the left and the right, and you can resize the menu button. Okay, so we have this menu button, and if we preview by clicking preview here in Adobe Muse, we can see it just takes you to the home page. Okay, so now I want to add more pages. Right now we don't have the option to, and the reason for that is because if we click on this button and we go to the menu options by clicking this little blue arrow right up here, if we go to options and we see menu type, the menu type is set to top level pages. And what this means is that if we go to our plan view by clicking over here, the first tab here of our site, this is a top level page. So if I make another page, kind of make like 3 pages, and we have Untitled 4, Untitled 5, and Untitled 6. Now if we go back to our home page, we now have Untitled 4, Untitled 5, and Untitled 6. I'm going to make this menu a little bit wider. I just click once, click out, and then click once on it, and just drag it to the width I want it to be. See, now we can see our buttons a little bit better. So we have Untitled 4, Untitled 5, Untitled 6. I don't really want that. The other thing I'll show you is, I'll create a few sub menus. And if we click on the menu, we go to the options by clicking this blue arrow here, and we click on all pages. We now have those 2 sub menu items that we can select. So if we preview, the sub menu items pop up, and that's all based on the plan view where we have our sub items and our top level pages. Any pages up here are top level pages, and these are sub pages, and you can keep creating sub pages of sub pages. Go to home, see we have kind of sub pages and sub menus there. Now this is one way to do it. I don't tend to like this way because I like the flexibility of adding my own menu buttons and renaming them and kind of styling them the way that I want to style them. So I'm going to go ahead and delete all these pages and start again on the home page, and now we just have this home button. So if I click on the menu here, if I go to options, we now have the 3 options were top level pages, all pages, or manual. We want to use manual because we want to manually create our menu and then assign it to the pages we want to assign it to. Kind of assign the buttons to the different pages we want to assign it to. So we click manual, and now our menu type is set to manual. And what this means is that first of all, you'll notice that we now have what the text says name within brackets, and all this means is that I can double click in here and actually change the text of my menu button. And if I click once and then click again, I now get these plus buttons here on the left, the bottom, and the right of this menu button. And if I click on the plus to the right, I can add a menu button. So if I click again on this one, then I click again on the end and keep hitting the plus button, I get menu buttons added to my menu. And I can even click on the bottom and add a sub menu item. Okay, so that's our menu. I want 5 menu buttons there, so that looks good. So now I want to change the text for each menu button. Now what you'll want to know is that I have it set to edit together, which means that if I change one button, it's going to change it for all the buttons. And that's really what I want to do, because I want my menu items to look the same, so that it looks like a really nice menu. So what I'm going to do is change the font of this text and change the name of each button. So I'm going to, let's click out. I'm going to click once on the menu, click again to select this first button, and then double click on the name. And now I have the text cursor. I can just highlight it. And if I go to text, I can go to this drop down, and then I'm going to select a web font. I recommend using web fonts. There's going to be a whole nother video on web fonts versus system fonts that you can see system fonts here, and then we have web fonts. Definitely recommend using web fonts. It's more of a web standard, and the browsers know what the text says inside of the whatever element you're using, so the browser can actually read the text. Okay, so I'm gonna click. I'm gonna select Open Sans for my text for my font, and again it's a web font. And for the size, I'm gonna select 24. So now you can see all the names changed here, and that's exactly what we want. And so now all I have to do is change the text. I'm gonna call this home. And if you have the text selected on one menu item, you just hop over to the next one and highlight it, and then you can change it, hop over to the next one, and call this services, hop over to the next one, FAQ. Let's make that FAQ capital, and contact. Okay, so we have that all set. Now again, if I go to preview, this menu really doesn't do anything. I haven't assigned these buttons to any pages. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that. First, we want to create the pages. So I'm going to go to my plan view, and I'm going to right click, duplicate page. I'm going to call this the about page. I'm going to right click, duplicate page, call this the services page. Right click, duplicate page, call this the FAQ page. I'm just duplicating so I don't have to reinsert the background and the logo text. And I'm going to call this one contact. So now we have, in our plan view, we have 5 top level pages. We have home, about, services, FAQ, and contact. So if we go back to our home page, and now we're going to assign these menu buttons to those pages. So I click on home, and the way to assign the menu button to a page is by going up here where it says hyperlinks, and where it says add or filter links, you just click on the drop down, and we have our pages right here. Those get populated because once you create a page, they get added here to this section, and because we're creating for desktop, it's under desktop. So I'm going to assign the home button to the home page. I'm going to click on the about page and about menu button, and assign it to the about page. Services, assign it to services. FAQ, assign it to FAQ, and contact, assign it to contact. So now if I preview in the browser, we have home, about, services, FAQ, contact. If I click on about, it goes to the about page. And what I'm going to do so that we can tell which page is which is I'm just going to add a few, or just make this kind of the fill a different color. So let's make it yeah, we'll kind of make him some obnoxious color. This is just to show you, and we'll make it transparent. We'll leave it green just to show you the different pages on our site. So fill, orange, and click here, fill. We'll make it blue, and go to website, and we'll go to fill, and we'll make this one maybe, yeah, that color. Okay, so again, let me go to the home page, and I'm going to preview this by clicking preview here in Muse. And if I click on about, it goes to the about page, the green. Now, what you'll notice is that none of the other buttons work. This makes sense because if we go to our about page, we actually didn't assign this menu to the pages. We only did it for the home page. See the about, if we go to hyperlinks, there's no page assigned to the about menu item, and neither for the services or the FAQ. Now, if you remember in the beginning of this video, I said there's one way to do it and then there's the right way to do it. So instead of doing all this work of assigning all these pages on every page, we can do it once and just be done. Another way to do it, like before I get into like the really great way to do it, you could also just, now that we've assigned this home page, we can just copy this by right-clicking, copy, or Command-C on your Mac or Control-C on your Windows computer. Go to the About page and Command-V or paste. And now it actually is going to work because this menu, it copied the attributes of this home menu. So if we go to Preview, we go to About, and About, this does work. But you see Services. So we'd have to kind of copy and paste the menu over again to the other pages. Again, that does save a little bit of time, but there is one really great way to do it that will just save you, a good amount of time across the board. And at the same time, like let's say you do change the color of the menu item, you won't have to do it for the rest of the 5 pages. So like just an example, if I'm on the home page right now, if I were to change the color of this button by going to the fill and changing it to like a yellow, and then I go to my about page, you can see that it's not yellow. So if I preview, this button's yellow, but on the about it's not yellow. Not the best way to do it. So the really best way to create a menu in Adobe Muse is to put the menu in the master page. And by putting the menu in the master page, it's going to assign that menu to all the other pages on your website. So I'm going to go ahead and delete all these menus except the home page menu because I need that menu to copy into the master page. I'm just going to delete all the menus, and now we just have the home menu. And I'm going to change the fill back to, going to undo, excuse me. Yeah, I don't really like that fill color. It's kind of obnoxious. Here, we'll just make it kind of like the rest. Okay, so to add the menu to the master page, what we're gonna do is click once on this menu to copy the whole menu. Hit Command-C or Control-C on your Windows, or right-click copy, and go to your plan view. Go to your masters page. If you'll notice, it's labeled A master, and if you'll notice, these pages have A master assigned to them, and that's how it is by default. So I'm going to double click to the master page, and as you can see, it looks just like any other page. And what I'm going to do is hit Command-V to paste my menu, or you can hit right click and paste. Right click and paste, and it will paste the menu. And I'm just going to put the menu in the same position that I put the menu on the home page, right between these two guidelines. Okay, so now if I go to my other pages, if I go to the plan view, and I'm going to go ahead and delete this menu off the home page because we don't want a duplicate menu. Now that it's in the master page, we don't need to have it on any of the pages. Now, if I look on the pages, they don't have the menu. Now, the reason for that is because the slideshow and this rectangle are actually on top of the menu, and the menu is behind these elements on our website. So to change that, what we want to do is go to Layers, and right down here we have kind of this piece of paper here, and if we leave our cursor on it, it says New Layer. I'm going to click once on it, and it's going to create a new layer. You can see now we have a blue layer and kind of a red layer. The first layer is layer 1, second layer is layer 2, and on layer 1, if you click on the drop down, you can see we have our rectangle and we have our slideshow on layer 1. And because layer 2 is on top of layer 1, anything in layer 2 is going to be in front of layer 1. And that's where we're going to put our menu in the master page. So if we go back to our plan view, go to the master page, and right here we click on layer 1, and we can see that the menu is in layer 1 in our master page. And you can also notice that the elements on all your other pages don't really coincide with your master page. Your master page kind of sits on its own and has its own elements. So the only element we have in the master page is the menu. So that's all we see kind of here in this master page is the menu on layer 1. Whereas on the other pages, layer 1 had, the slideshow and the rectangle. But that's pretty cool because it lets you see what elements will be assigned to all pages without the fluff of the kind of other elements. All right, so we can see that the menu is in layer 1, and what we want to do is place it in layer 2. And to do that, you just click and hold. Again, what I did is I just clicked this drop down and I can see the menu. And what I want to do is click, hold, and drag this menu till you see kind of like this line highlighted under layer 2, and then you let go. You just kind of drag it under layer 2, and now menu is under layer 2. Perfect. So now if we go to our plan view, we can see that the menu has populated on all the pages. So if I preview, we now have the menu, and we go to About, Services, FAQ, Contact, and Home. All right, so there's our menu, and it works perfectly. And because we assigned the menu buttons in the home page, and then we just copied it to the master page, it kind of kept the links together. So home goes to home, about goes to about, services goes to services, FAQ goes to FAQ, and contact goes to contact. So that's it. That's the really right way to create a menu, and just putting it in your master page here. And just a few other things. If you wanted to create a vertical menu, all you do, and you'll notice I can't even click on the menu on the other pages because it's in the master page. So I go to the master page, I select the menu, click once on it, and to create a vertical menu, I click on the options by clicking this blue arrow here, and where it says direction, just change it to vertical, and now I have a vertical menu. So if I go to preview, go to about, we have this vertical menu here. Pretty cool. So that's it for this video. Actually, one more thing I can show you is the states function. Let's say you wanted to change, if we go to the master page, if you wanted to change this gray color, you go to the states panel, and we have normal, rollover, mouse down, and active. So if I change, the color here for normal, let me just change the opacity to like that. And then we go to rollover, we change the rollover to an orange, and the mouse down to like a bluish color, and then the active state to green, or yeah, kind of a different green there. All right, and if we preview this, we can see we have different colors for our menu. We have a rollover state, turns this to an orange. If you click, it turns to kind of a greenish color. And then when it's active, it turns to kind of another greenish color. I'll be going more over that in another video where I talk about colors and gradients and the states tool, or the states panel. But just kind of a quick overview of that, so you're not staring kind of at like this gray menu that doesn't make too much sense. The last thing I'm gonna do is just turn this menu back to horizontal, because I did like how it looked horizontally. And voila, if we go to preview, we have about, services, FAQ, and contact. All right, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.